Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening and a warm welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing you your top stories for tonight. I am Lakshit Singha.
A very good evening and I'm Kenza Farooq. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight. Protest of beach scene fishermen called off after discussions with the President. New digital policy in April, says the Prime Minister. A new court to conduct bribery and corruption cases from Monday. 27th session of the European Union Sri Lanka Joint Commission held successfully in Colombo. A resounding victory for Bangladesh National Party in the general elections. Australia tastes defeat against Zimbabwe.
On to those and other stories in detail. We start off with the top story for tonight. The beach scene fishermen who were engaged in a protest in front of the Presidential Secretariat ended their demonstration today.
Now, this followed a discussion held this afternoon at the Presidential Secretariat with President Anurukumara Dissanayake. The fishing representatives expressed their gratitude to the President for granting them a discussion and focusing on the situation they are facing. They briefed the President on the current issues affecting the beach seine industry, which began in 2010 and transitioned to using the winch method in 2013 due to labour shortages. Listening attentively, President Anurukumara Dissanayake emphasised that the government has no desire to disrupt anyone's economic livelihood while resolving this issue. Explaining that the government's objective is to strengthen the economy for all, the President noted that in resolving this matter, complaints received from the general fishing community, reports from environmental organizations and scientific research provided by state institutions, agencies under the Ministry of Fisheries and other relevant bodies must be considered. The President further emphasised the importance of ensuring environmental sustainability, adhering to international conventions and protecting the fishing industry and ocean resources for future generations by preventing the use of prohibited fishing methods. Accordingly, it was decided to commence formal discussions involving all relevant parties next Monday. The President also agreed to provide an opportunity for those who engaged in this fishing method to discuss issues regarding lease payments and other financial obligations with the Ministry of Finance during this period. Minister Ramalingam Chandrasekhar and several others were also present at the occasion.
Efforts to expedite the resettlement of those displaced by the Dithwa cyclone are currently being implemented at the district level. A progress review meeting in this regard was held today at the Presidential Secretariat, chaired by Minister Anand Vijaypala. The meeting focused on housing construction and land acquisition issues in the Kandy, Matale, Nuwara, Kurunegala, Kegalle and Badulla districts. Special emphasis was placed on the recommendations provided by the National Building Research Organisation regarding resettlement. The process of resettling residents in their original locations is underway. Identification of individuals requiring relocation to new sites and the necessary land acquisition for these projects were prioritized. The discussion also focused on the delays in obtaining NBRO reports, specifically concerning the Kandy and Nuwara districts. Minister Anand Vijaypala issued strict instructions to the relevant officials to complete construction within 1 month in districts where reports have already been finalized, utilizing the support of district officers. The discussion also touched upon the specific challenges encountered in constructing houses for the plantation community. The meeting was attended by the Secretary to the President, Dr. Nandika Sanath Kumar Nayaka, along with several other officials.
Diplomatic ties between Sri Lanka and the European Union were further bolstered yesterday following the 27th Joint Commission meeting in Colombo. The session provided a high-level platform for both parties to review progress on governance, economic recovery and regional security, making a positive step forward in Sri Lanka's international relations. The discussions focus on critical policy reforms, including the repeal of the Prevention of Terrorism Act and the advancement of national reconciliation through independent institutions. A major highlight was the discussion on the GSP Plus trade scheme, with Sri Lanka reaffirming its commitment to international conventions to ensure continued tariff concessions for local exporters. Furthermore, the meeting paved the way for new investment opportunities under the EU's Global Gateway strategy and expanded educational partnerships through the Erasmus Plus program. Both sides also pledged to strengthen maritime security in the Indo-Pacific, reinforcing a shared vision for a stable and rules-based international order.
We move away from the local stories to take a look at the situation of the Bangladeshi elections. And according to the unofficial results of the Bangladesh general election, it is stated that the Bangladesh National Party led by Tariq Rehman has secured a significant victory. The country's election commission stated that the voter turnout at this election was 60.69%. This is the first general election held in Bangladesh following the collapse of the 15-year rule of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina amid student protests in 2024. The unofficial results indicate that the alliance led by Tariq Rehman-led Bangladesh National Party has secured the required two-thirds majority to form a new government. According to results reported by the country's media institutions, the alliance led by the Bangladesh National Party has won 211 out of 299 seats. The rival alliance led by Jamaat-e-Islami has secured 70 seats. The Jamaat-e-Islami alliance, which has not yet accepted defeat, state that it is not satisfied with the vote counting process and claims that there are serious concerns regarding the integrity of the results process. Meanwhile, following its victory, the Bangladesh National Party has stated that under its Bangladesh First foreign policy, it is prepared to repatriate Rohingya refugees and seek solutions to the Teesta river water dispute with India. Considering the sensitive situation in the country, Bangladesh National Party leader Tariq Rehman has requested his supporters to refrain from holding victory rallies. The Awami League of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, which was banned from contesting the election, has rejected the results, while the National Citizens Party affiliated with the Jamaat-e-Islami alliance has also alleged that election irregularities have occurred. Bangladesh media report that several violent incidents were recorded on election day, leaving more than 70 people injured. Meanwhile, President Anura Kumar Dissanayake has extended his congratulations through a message on X to the alliance-led Bangladesh National Party leader Tariq Rehman. In his message, the president stated that he looks forward to further strengthening bilateral relations between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh and extended his congratulations to the people of Bangladesh for reaffirming their faith in democracy.
Now in your local news, Matale District Seminar of the People's Movement for Educational Reforms was held yesterday at the Hotel School Auditorium in Matale. Deputy Minister Gamegedere Dissanayake stressed that the government had decided to unveil the new education reforms in line with the public mandate. He said the reforms would be introduced beginning with grade 1 and simultaneously with grade 6 in 2026. He further explained that the reforms would be implemented progressively through 2027, 2028, 2029 and 2030, with plans to make the system fully operational with expected changes by 2031.
Sri Lanka's commitment to eradicating child labour took centre stage in Morocco as the government highlighted education as the primary tool for social change. Addressing the 6th Global Conference on the Elimination of Child Labour in Marrakech, Deputy Minister of Labour Mahinda Jayasinghe emphasised that child labour cannot be tackled in isolation but must be addressed through its root causes.
The 6th Global Conference, held in the historic city of Marrakech, brings together world leaders and ILO to accelerate the 2030 goal of ending child labour. The Deputy Minister revealed that Sri Lanka maintains remarkably low rate of child labour, with fewer than 10 cases reported annually. He attributed the success to the government's decision to prioritise children's needs during economic crises, providing free stationery and financial aid to prevent school dropouts. Underlining the current administration's vision, Minister Jayasinghe noted that newly implemented educational reforms, which combine academic learning with vocational skills, are now the backbone of the country's strategy to ensure every child stays in the classroom and out of the workforce.
the government introduced separate assistance packages for students to support their return to school, including assistance for essential items such as stationery and uniforms. These measures reflect Sri Lanka's approach to mainstreaming children's needs in crisis response, with particular attention to preventing child labor. Third, technological change and digitalization are transforming the world of work. While digital technologies present opportunities for productivity and innovation, they also raise concerns about online exploitation and abuse. In Sri Lanka, specialized agencies such as the National Child Protection Authority and a special police division play a key role in protecting children. In parallel, the government is continuously strengthening digital infrastructure with the support of international partners to enhance prevention, reporting and response mechanisms in this area. Sri Lanka recognizes that child labor cannot be addressed in isolation. Policy coherence is essential. Our child labor initiatives are increasingly linked with education reforms, skills development, labor migration, governance, supply chain, due diligence and social protection. Engagement with employers and workers organizations remains central to improving compliance and addressing informal employment. Looking ahead, Sri Lanka identifies three priorities. First one, strengthening household income through decent work for adults, inclusive social protection and systems resilient to economic and climate-related shocks. Second one, investing in education and skills, ensuring access to quality education, preventing school dropouts and creating credible school-to-work transition pathways aligned with labor market needs.
Sri Lanka's diplomatic mission in the United States has hosted a special welcome in honor of the recently concluded Walk for Peace across America. The peace initiative, which drew support from communities across the United States and around the world, concluded just days ago after weeks of engagement and spiritual reflection.
Sri Lanka's ambassador to the United States, Mahinda Samarasinghe, took part in several key events in Washington in support of the walk. At the historical Washington National Cathedral, thousands gathered for an interfaith ceremony symbolizing unity among religions.
The storm cuts deep, the body shakes, but not the cow. No one breaks, no one promise, no shelter near.
The ambassador attended the event at the invitation of District of Columbia Secretary Kimberly A. Bassett. Earlier, the Sri Lankan community in the DMV area organized a traditional dana offering at the National United Methodist Church, where more than 200 Buddhist monks were in attendance. The embassy joined the community in serving traditional Sri Lankan cuisine.
They walk for peace, not for praise.
The head priest and the monks also made a special stop at the embassy premises. On that occasion, Ambassador Samarasinghe presented a Tripitaka and ceremonially pinned the Sri Lankan flag on the robe of the mission.
Still their hearts remain the same.
The embassy stated that Sri Lanka remains committed to promoting peace, religious harmony, and global cooperation through both spiritual and diplomatic engagement.
They walk for peace, not for fame. Through snow and wind.
Moving on, Kalathura High Court ordered 3 persons to death sentence today regarding the assassination of Chamida Kumara, a resident of Littleton Estate area, Kudavaskadua. The assassination had occurred in the month of October in 2008. The assassination has been committed by stabbing during a funeral held at Little Estate, Kudavaskadua. A case was filed against 3 persons of the same area regarding the murder. During the last hearing of the case, both the plaintiff and the defendant presented their submissions. High Court Judge Justice Thamara Thenakon delivered a death sentence to them.
Meanwhile, the government has planned to implement a new code for bribery and corruption cases from next Monday. According to the Ministry of Justice, about 8,000 cases will be able to be completed through this court. residences used by former ministers have been handed over temporarily to the Ministry of Justice to expedite court cases as per the Anti-Corruption Action Plan. Minister Harshan Ranayakara inspected those residences yesterday. The ministry instructed officials to provide necessary facilities for these courts as soon as possible. New courts have been established in the official residences around Gregory Road, Colombo 7, Paudalaka Mawatha, Vijayarama Mawatha and Stanmore Crescent. Special High Court to conduct court affairs pertaining to the Easter Sunday attacks has been established at the official residence located at Paudalaka Mawatha.
Deputy Minister Ruwan Ranasinghe says that special promotion move has been implemented to achieve the target of attracting 3 million tourists to the country this year. Now expressing views to the media, he said that an estimate of 6 billion rupees has been presented for this purpose.
අපි රුපියල් බිලියන 6ක විතර ඇස්තමේන්තුවක් තියෙනවා මේ අවුරුද්දේ සංචාරක ප්‍රවර්ධනය වෙනුවෙන් විශේෂයෙන් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ඩිජිටල් කැම්පේන් එකක් 2026 වසරේ අපේ ප්‍රධාන සංචාරක වෙළඳපොළවල් වල ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න. ඉතින් මේ හරහා ප්‍රවර්ධනයක් සහ ඉහළ වියදමක් දරන විවිධ සංචාරක මාකට් සෙග්මන්ට්ස් අපිට ආකර්ෂණය කරගෙන අපේ ඉලක්කයට යන්න. සංචාරකයන්ගේ හැටි.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya says that the new digital policy will be implemented or rather introduced in April, paying attention to child protection. She made these observations during a discussion held at Rajakiya Vidyalaya in Monaragala. The discussion was held to enlighten education officers of the Monaragala district regarding new educational reforms. Smart boards will be given to 132 schools in Monaragala district under the program to provide smart boards for secondary schools under new educational reforms. The Prime Minister added that under the program implemented with the mediation of the Digital Task Force of the Prime Minister's office, the grants given for infrastructure facilities of 10 secondary schools symbolically should be spent according to an accurate plan in a transparent manner, presenting its progress. Mahasangha Governor Attorney at Law Kapila Jayasekara, Deputy Minister R.M. Jayawardena and a group of officials from the education sector joined the occasion. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that the government has launched a comprehensive program to digitalize Sri Lanka's school system as a part of a broader education reform initiative. She explained that under the smart classroom rollout, at least one smart board will be provided to every secondary school across the country. The program is being implemented through close collaboration with the Ministry of Digital Economy and the Ministry of Education. The Prime Minister emphasized that the initiative goes beyond supplying hardware. She noted that the government is simultaneously developing the required digital infrastructure, including connectivity facilities and locally relevant digital educational content. She further revealed that a formal national policy on digital education is expected to be introduced around April. According to her, the policy will place strong emphasis on child protection, ensuring that digital technology is used to provide students with quality learning resources while safeguarding them from online risks. Addressing concerns over national examination schedules, the Prime Minister said that 2 major examinations have currently been fixed in accordance with separate court orders. However, due to a significant number of appeals and requests from students and parents seeking extensions, the matter has been taken up at cabinet level for reconsideration. She stated that the government is seeking further legal guidance from the relevant court regarding the possibility of revising the examination dates. Pending the court's opinion, necessary steps will be taken to amend or postpone the scheduled dates in order to provide relief to affected candidates. Two persons have been shot dead at Akureguda, Talangama. According to police, they are a 38-year-old female and a male aged 42 years. 2 persons inside a motor car were shot at the parking area of a supermarket at Akureguda. According to reports, the shooting has been conducted by persons who came in a motor car. Police said that both the victims died inside the vehicle and added that the shooting has been conducted using a T-56 firearm. Talangama police is conducting further investigations.
Now moving on, Deputy Minister Attorney at Law Sunil Vatagala says that the statement made by Venerable Balangoda Kassapathera regarding himself is inaccurate. The Deputy Minister made these comments today regarding a statement made by Venerable Balangoda Kassapathera at a media briefing held yesterday. Venerable Balangoda Kassapathera stated that Deputy Minister Sunil Vatagala had contacted him through an intermediary. According to the Thera, the intermediary had requested him to bring his official letterhead and seal to the Presidential Secretariat. Deputy Minister Sunil Vatagala, however, strongly denied this claim, describing it as a completely false. He maintained that Venerable Balangoda Kassapathera was aware in the conscience that the allegation was untrue. The Deputy Minister further asserted that he had never met the Thera and had never been contacted by any intermediary on the Thera's behalf. He expressed confusion over the reason for such statements and concluded that any alleged ulterior motives could not be achieved through falsehoods.
Siyavas Abhiman 2025 national ceremony signifying 100 years of broadcasting in Sri Lanka was held yesterday at the Temple Trees, led by Ministers Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa and Dr. Hininduma Sunil Senavi.
The first radio broadcast of the country officially commenced on the 16th of December 1925 in the name Colombo Radio. Technical factors essential for the first electronic media broadcasting was discovered about a century ago. Due to this invention based on the sound, the inception of the first radio station in South Asia is also a historic incident. The ceremony was organized by the Minister of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Department of Cultural Affairs, Sri Lanka Arts Council, Radio Newspaper and the Social Media Subcommittee. A Century of Broadcasting research compilation authored by Dr. Dhammika Disanayaka, which conducts an in-depth study of social, political and cultural aspects of broadcasting communication of the country, and Guan Viduli Samiksha, containing research articles on radio, was handed over to the invitees on this occasion. Oldest radio communicators of the country at present, engineers and 35 technicians were facilitated during this function. Awards were also presented to the winners of radio program production competition conducted among university students.
අර ගුවන්විදුලි සංස්ථාවේ බහුකාර්ය මැදිරිය ආනන්ද සමරකෝන් මැදිරිය විදිහට නම් කළෙත් එතුමන්ගේ මූලිකත්වයේ යටතේ 1969 ගුවන්විදුලි සංගීතංශයේ නිෂ්පාදකයෙක් විදිහට පස් වෙලා නව පරපුරට අත දෙමු ළමයින්ගේ නැන්දා බවට පත් වූ සුනන්දා ධර්මපාල නැන්දා ප්‍රථම වතාවටයි සජීව මයික්‍රොෆෝනයක් රැගෙන මැදිරියෙන් පිටතට නිවේදිකාවක් ගමන් කරන්නේ. හැඩරුව මේ ලෙසයි කියා ප්‍රමිතියට ලක් කළ ඒ ජේෂ්ඨ නිර්මාණවේදියා.
In a special feature, a photograph of engineer Edward Harper, considered to be the father of radio communication in Sri Lanka, was also presented as a symbolic souvenir for all radio channels of this country. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, Deputy Ministers Dr. Kaushal Ariyaratna, Gamakethara Disanayaka, parliamentarian, artists and a number of radio artists joined the ceremony.
The Institute of Chartered Accounts of Sri Lanka marked a historic milestone yesterday, celebrating 6 decades of financial integrity at the Diamond chapter of the Tax Awards. Held at the Shangri-La, Colombo, the event honored the pillars of transparency, accountability, governance and sustainability within the nation's corporate landscape.
Gracing the occasion, there are Dr. Anil Jayanta Fernando, Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Finance, and Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, Governor of the Central Bank, highlighting the critical role of professional reporting in Sri Lanka's ongoing economic recovery. The event's highest honour, the Gold Award for Overall Excellence in Corporate Reporting, was clinched by Hayleys PLC, with Commercial Bank and Softlogic Life securing the silver. Addressing the distinguished gathering, Minister Dr. Anil Jayanta Fernando emphasized that the government has successfully navigated a period of intense economic restructuring, positioning Sri Lanka as a global leader in turnaround resilience. He underscored that high-quality, timely reporting and digital transformation are no longer optional but essential tools for fighting corruption and attracting vital investment.
When it comes to the theme of the Diamond Jubilee, today's ceremony, the significance of reporting, as the President of Sri Lanka highlighted, the reporting and the importance of information. Now we live in an era, the society, where almost of everything is really driven by technology. If you think of anything without technology, of course we can live, but that would not be up to the level and up to the standard. We would be far behind if we ignore technology. So the reporting, again we have to ask questions. What we report, who reports, to whom, and what are we going to do with reporting? Of course, at the end, it deals with information. Whether the required, the quality information is delivered and freely available. Now are we taking decisions based on information? We have to have such a culture. Sometimes we may be dealing with narrow information. You have quality information, timely information, but at the end of the day, if you do not use information for decision making, then again there will be an issue. That is why the world is sometimes debating about this information asymmetry. The first place, asymmetry is there. Information is not freely available. But asymmetry may not matter if you don't take decisions based on information. I think world is moving ahead to symmetrical information sharing platforms and to enhance the quality of information. So in that regard, the CA Sri Lanka, and especially the tax committee and other committees, have taken the tremendous efforts to uphold, to maintain high quality reporting practices.
International Civil Aviation Organization has expressed its willingness to support for aviation development in Sri Lanka. Chairman of the organization in the Asia and Pacific region, Tao Ma, has visited Sri Lanka.
A significant meeting was held at the Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka, chaired by Tao Ma, Regional Director of ICAO's Asia and Pacific region. The event was attended by Sunil Jayaratna, Chairman of CASL, and Captain Daminda Rambukwala, Director General of Civil Aviation, along with stakeholders of the industry and CASL staff. The primary objective of this visit is to strengthen bilateral relations, enhance multidimensional cooperation between the ICAO Asia Pacific Regional Office in Sri Lanka. The Regional Director is scheduled to hold bilateral discussions with key officials including Minister of Ports and Civil Aviation Anura Karuna Tilaka and Deputy Minister Engineer Janitha Ruwan Kodituakku.
A special ceremony to mark the 75th anniversary of the Castle Street Hospital for Women in Borella was held yesterday under the patronage of the Minister of Health and Media, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa. In conjunction with the anniversary, a specialized medical exhibition was organized within the hospital premises. A special commemorative book compiled by consultant obstetrician and gynecologist Dr. Lakshman Senanayaka and Professor Sanat Lanarol, with the support of the hospital staff, is officially launched. Video presentations focus on maternal and newborn healthcare developed through a collaboration between the Ministry of Health, the Family Health Bureau and UNICEF were also unveiled. The director of the hospital, Dr. Ajit Dantanaraya, presented a special commemorative plaque to Health Minister to mark the milestone. Addressing the gathering, Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa stated that despite modern challenges, steps will be taken to strengthen the hospital's future progress by integrating modern technological methods into its clinical operations.
Veteran leftist politician in Sri Lanka, Professor Tissa Vitarana, has passed away today. He was 91 years at the time of his demise. His remains are scheduled to be brought to the N. Imperial Centre in Borella tomorrow. Professor Tissa Vitarana, who had been unwell for some time, passed away this morning at his residence in Kotte area. He entered into politics in 1974, representing Lanka's Samasamaja party. He had also served as a parliamentarian, minister and a governor. He is known as a writer, critic and an academic researcher as well.
The Colombo Stock Exchange ended today's trading positively. The all-share price index closed at 23,709.84 after rising by 57.33 points, which represents a 0.24% change. The S&P SL20 index closed at 6,618.73, up by 19.21 points and 0.29%. Total market capitalization at the close of trading stood at 9.389 trillion rupees. Market turnover for the day amounted to 8.51 billion rupees, with 265.55 million shares traded. In your weather news for tonight, showers will occur at times in central, eastern and northern provinces and in the Polonnaru and Hambantota districts.
Fairly heavy falls above 75 millimeters are likely at some places in Uva and central provinces and in the Ampara, Patiklo and Polonnaru districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the Anuradhapura district. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamu and central provinces and in Gaul and Mathur districts during the early hours of the morning.
Now that's all the local news we have for you. Coming up is your foreign news after the short break.
Prima Kotumi, Fantamai. Be mine forever is what I say. Sharing hot and spicy love every day.
Now in your international news for tonight, in a major shift in US climate policy, President Donald Trump has revoked a landmark scientific ruling that classified greenhouse gases as a threat to public health. A move environmental groups say could reshape America's climate regulations for years to come. US President Donald Trump has overturned the 2009 endangerment finding introducing during the administration of former President Barack Obama, which determined that greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide and methane pose a danger to human health. The ruling, first established by the United States Environmental Protection Agency, became the legal foundation for federal climate regulations, including the vehicle emission standards and controls on power plants and the oil and gas sector.
Prima Kotumi, Fantamai.
And in sports news, Zimbabwe scored a 23-run victory against Australia in the T20 World Cup cricket tournament. Interestingly, no Australian team has recorded a victory against Zimbabwe so far in a T20 World Cup cricket tournament. The match was played at the R. Premadas International Cricket Stadium in Colombo today. After winning the toss, Australia decided to field first. Accordingly, Zimbabwe batting first scored 169 runs, losing just 2 wickets in their 20 overs. Brian Bennett was unbeaten on 64. Tadiwanashe Marumani and Ryan Burl added 35 runs each. Australia, chasing a victory target of 170 runs, could only end up with 146 runs all out in 19.3 overs. Matt Renshaw scored 65 runs while Glenn Maxwell contributed with 31 runs. In bowling, Blessing Muzarabani claimed 4 wickets while Brad Evans claimed 3 scalps. Australia and Zimbabwe have played on 2 occasions so far in T20 World Cup cricket tournament history, and both matches were won by Zimbabwe. With this victory, Zimbabwe is now in the 2nd position on the points table in Group B. Australia is in the 3rd place. Sri Lanka leads the Group B at the top.
And finally, para-athlete Samant Subasinghe won a silver medal for Sri Lanka in the 17th FASA World Para-Athletics Grand Prix Championship yesterday. He secured the 2nd spot in the men's 400 meters event in the T47 category. Sri Lankan para-athletes Samant Subasinghe cleared the finals of the men's 400 meter event of a T47 category in 50.86 seconds. The first place has gone to Colin Mahalela of South Africa, who finished the race in 50.77 seconds, while the 3rd place was won by Ghana athlete Haiford Adai. He clocked 52.42 seconds to finish the event.
And that's all the stories for tonight. Do join us tomorrow for more of the very latest. Until then, good night.
Good night.